So last week in one of my videos, I mentioned that Standard was starting to feel a little bit stale to me and that I've been playing more and more Historic Brawl in my free time. And some of you in the comments said, hey, do a Brawl video. So that's what we're doing today. We're having some fun. We're going to be playing Wakka, Devoted Guardian, one of my favorite commanders since it released. I have been personally building this deck for like the last 3 or 4 months, putting it together. It's a Hardened Scales, +1/+1 counters type deck. Who doesn't love that kind of strategy? And the deck has been playing fairly well right now, 29 games deep, 69% win rate. Of course, it had to be that. And yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the deck. But before I talk about the deck, I want to talk about what Wizards has done recently. So last week, they announced that they were going to make some changes to the matchmaking system. It says that they are releasing the next iteration of Brawl matchmaking on May 19th, and that this would be an experimental and major change to Brawl matchmaking, how it works, prioritizing finding opponents with similarly matched commander tiers, disregarding the skill level of the opponent. So far, I feel like this has been met with some mixed results. Some people seem to really like it, myself included, and some people online I have seen saying that it has made Brawl a little bit unplayable. Your mileage may vary, I guess. But for me, personally, I have been running into more enjoyable matches of Brawl since this change has gone live. Wakka is a cool deck. This is not optimized fully. It's not the most powerful deck, but it's a deck that I definitely enjoy playing. And my advice to all of you, if you decide to play Historic Brawl or Standard Brawl, don't go and net deck something. Don't go and try to find optimized lists. That's probably not going to be the most enjoyable way. With this new matchmaking system, I really think it incentivizes people who just kind of play with the cards that they have. And if they put together something that's just like functional and reasonable, you're going to have some good, enjoyable games of Brawl. At least that has been my experience. Now, this deck I think is pretty good. It's probably not the most powerful version of what a +1/+1 counters deck could be. I don't really have any infinite combo stuff. It's mostly just high value, good, solid rate cards. So I'm not really going to talk about the deck because it is, something that will unfold in the games. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some very cool cards as they roll out. But of course it is, like I said, a Hardened Scales type deck. So we are putting +1/+1 counters on things. We have a lot of cards in the deck that do this type of effect where we are going to be doubling the number of counters that are put on things ideally, and putting a whole bunch of stuff on our creatures. Now, I guess I should talk about Wakka. Wakka is a pretty sweet card. It's a 4/4 for 4. How novel. Reach, trample. Whenever Wakka deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact that player controls, and put a +1/+1 counter on Wakka. Then, of course, he is the Blitzball captain. So at the beginning of your end step, if a counter was put on Wakka this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature that you control. So we want to go a little bit wide. We want to be getting value out of putting +1/+1 counters on things and doing it to a whole bunch of creatures that we can take advantage of when they have +1/+1 counters on them. So that is the deck. We're going to see if we can showcase some good action out of the Wakka camp, and then also hopefully see some pretty cool opponent decks. See you over in the games. Ooh, Kefka. So we have ourselves a bit of a Final Fantasy showdown here. Hand's not good enough, right? It's too slow. Too slow. Also not great. It might be the first time we see a little bit of Leatherhead action, though. So I'll try this one. I do have the turn 1 Surveil land. Garruk's Uprising is actually not so bad. I do kind of need an untapped land, though, because the mana base is going to be a little bit funky. I suppose what I could do is I not put out the Bristly Bill this turn. So my choice is Forest, Bristly Bill, or take a turn off, Stirring Wildwood, next turn Garruk's Uprising, and hope to find something for the Leatherhead. I don't know which way to go about that. I think, you know what, I'm going to try the Garruk's Uprising way. I feel like putting the Bristly Bill out here is just going to send him to his death. Okay, Garruk's Uprising, please resolve. Please resolve. Kefka. Bringing counter magic around here? Get that out of here. Not fun. That's not fun. Okay. Wakka. I need you in my life, Wakka. You get out here. We got the Voidwalker, though. This thing's going to be bad for us, right? We can't block it, of course. All right. Somebody's packing their I hate everybody opening hand. I get it. I get it. Sometimes you come into the game and you're just like a little bit angry and you want to make sure that everybody pays. Maybe I should have put out the Leatherhead. The Leatherhead having hexproof could be good. And it's not like we're destroying the Terminus of Return anyways. So probably that was just my bad. My bad. Oh well. Kefka coming down this time. So we get to discard a card. It's fun. What are we discarding? Protection. Ooze. Ooze is probably not going to be too bad for us. Also, Invasion of Kabakan could be quite powerful for the future. So we'll just get rid of old Bristly Bill. I think Bristly Bill's time in the sun has passed. Let's see what they got in their hand. Now, can the Dauthi Voidwalker block? I don't know. Well, this is not good. Okay, we'll get rid of this. Shadow. This can be blocked. This creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with Shadow. So it cannot block me, which means that if I do this, and I do this, I don't know if it matters. And I put a +1/+1 counter on Leatherhead. That means that we can get in on the invasion and turn it over. And that's going to be okay. Maybe that'll provide some safety for the future. I don't think they throw Kefka underneath the Leatherhead here. Okay, boom. So invasion of Kabakan comes to our side of the field. We get to play it out. Light Shield Array. So this thing's going to put a +1/+1 counter on our creatures on end step. And also it's going to... creatures that attacked, by the way. And then we can sacrifice it for a little bit of protection if we need it against that Blasphemous Act. Again, we're discarding. So we're never going to keep anything in hand from now on. So that's bad news. How does Kefka's thing work? Then you draw a card for each card type among cards discarded this way. So we want to be empty-handed to make sure the opponent is drawing fewer cards. I'm surprised they don't go in with the Voidwalker. Okay, Talisman of Dominance. Don't care about that. We can actually destroy it if we really want to. This also, we can destroy enchantments as well. So we can get rid of the Cool But Rude. I think that might be the way we're going about this next turn. Ooh, Kutzel. So probably we're putting Kutzel on the field. I was thinking about putting Wakka down, but I think Kutzel is just going to be good for us. It's going to draw me a card here. Hopefully it doesn't draw me something too good. Boom. And yeah, that's a good one. Not too good, but good enough because we get to put it onto the field. We, of course, want to make sure that we have the cards out of our hand so Kefka isn't just making us discard them. If it were something a little bit stronger, yeah. That's what I meant by not good enough. Just something fine. And being able to take out that Cool But Rude was huge. Leatherhead. Ooh, showing some power. They probably have to kill the Kutzel here, which is going to make me wonder if I should fire off the Light Shield Array. Oh, well. Guess we're firing off the Light Shield Array. If you're coming after my enchantment, I guess I'm just going to give my things indestructible for the turn. Surely you're not also going to come after my ooze. Maybe they're thinking about building up towards a turn, a next turn Blasphemous Act. It seems to be like the case here. So I want to be able to get +1/+1 counters on my experiment one so that I can remove 2 of them to give indestructible, not indestructible, but regenerate to it. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Yeah, I'll be able to do it with the ooze. And I suppose I'm probably going in with, well, now with the Gonti here, the Gonti is actually bad news. The Gonti having in Death Touch really puts a damper on things. I don't like that. So I'll grab the Cool But Rude because I feel like it's kind of instrumental to the opponent's plan. And again, they're sitting there with, they're sitting there with that Death Touch boy. That's a real big problem for me. So with this, sacrifice this creature, choose an exile card an opponent controls with a void counter on it. and you may play it. Ah, that's actually kind of crazy. So they're going to be able to give their things indestructible. We're in trouble. So I kind of have no choice but to go in with the Leatherhead this time. If they want to block with the Gaunty, I think it's probably okay. Yeah, I'll just make the trade. Because I'm going to be in trouble no matter what here. Do I still get the Leatherhead trigger? No. No, I do not. Okay. Ooh, okay, Resto Magic is okay because this can give indestructible to my Kutzel. So I want to put +1 here. Put +1 here. I'm so desperate to keep my creatures alive. Put this over here. And hold up the Kutzel, I guess. Do I also just want to use my mana efficiently? And oh, yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Shuffle the Lightning Greaves over to the Experiment one because the opponent can't do anything with, anyways, with the Kutzel on the field. And then shuffle that back on over because it's a more valuable card. Okay. Dalthy Voidwalker is going to be a bit of a problem. We'll see if they end up firing off this Blasphemous Act that's just sitting here. Isn't it wild that the only art for Blasphemous Act on the client is this one? Wizards like, you want this powerful card? You better play this card. So what are they grabbing? Are they going to grab? Yeah, they're going for it. They're going for it. So our plan actually working out here. Okay, so we're going to regenerate this boy. We're going to give indestructible to my... No! I got... All right. Don't look. Nobody look. I'm embarrassed again. Lightning Greaves. It's one of the hardest cards to play. I'm just going to cast this for the sake of casting it so that they don't make me discard something. But you know what? It's fine. Lightning Greaves going to have a huge upside on this next turn. I had the right idea. I was playing it properly, but I didn't use all of my brain. That's the problem. I only used some of my brain. Okay. It's fine, though. We're back. We're back. We're back in this, baby. They don't have anything. They're not going to block with the Harmonic Prodigy. And surely I'm not... Oh, my God. I'm surprised with that one. We get to take out their Talisman of Domination. And this is turning into quite the duel suddenly. Experiment 1 can hang around, take advantage of all of the mutagen tokens that eventually we'll end up making. We also have the Stirring Wildwood sitting here. So I didn't read this card. When this enters and at the beginning of your upkeep, heist that. Okay, once each turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell that you cast that you don't own with mana value 3 or less. So they're going to heist my deck. Good job. Are they also going to come in with the Kefka? They can flip. They can also flip it soon, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. They actually have mana to flip into Ruler of Ruin. Okay, they grab something. Grab something nasty, I'm sure. It's a faithful watchdog, not the nastiness that I had expected the opponent to grab. Okay. Blasphemous Act. Get rid of it. And move on and draw. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. It lets us look at a bunch of stuff. Ooh, Mutagen Man. Is it okay? So I got a choice to make. Is it Mutagen Man that allows me to go ham and put a bunch of counters on things? Because I can do him for X3. That'll give me 5. That'll get Wakka up to a 10/10, which will be very hard for the opponent to block. Or I get the Dusk Legion's Duelist, which will then allow me to start putting +1/+1 counters on things. It's actually kind of a tough spot. I think I'm grabbing the Mutagen Man. X3, right? I'm not mistaken here. Yes, sir. I can actually go a little bit harder because I can also eat something this turn around. Yeah, Gonti, whatever. So let's just put... Don't look. It's embarrassing. Don't look. Don't look at the lightning greaves problems. Sure. When it happens, you just avert your eyes. You look away. That was one heck of a grindy game. I don't know what was going to end up happening in the end. We were getting an 11-11 Wakka. They would have had to block with 2 of their creatures, maybe even a little bit more. Actually, it would have been really awkward because if he were 11, I think I had 1 more on the stack and then 4 more to go, if I'm not mistaken. They wouldn't have been able to just put these 2 in front of it. So they would have had to put all 3 creatures in front of Wakka to be able to get the destroy on the Wakka. And then the Ooze actually playing pretty important role in this game. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it leaves the battlefield, create a mutagen token. So that ended up being pretty important in this matchup. Ooh, Dark Leo. We get to see a little bit of ninjas? Ninjas? Come on. This sucks. Why? Why? All right. Ooh. Hey, this is a good looking hand. We get turn 1 forest into an Elvish Mystic. This is what you want to see, right? It's so lame to do. I think like you have to ramp on turn 1, turn 2, kind of keep ramp. But if everybody's doing it, you kind of just got to do it, right? It's just the way it is. But Botanical Brawler, pretty good, I suppose. I'm not going to attack in with the Elvish Mystic. They would definitely probably block with the Defector Might. But if we can get a very quick Wakka on the field, I don't know if I'm willing to throw down the Wakka on turn 4, though. Like, it's so risky. However, the upside of putting the Wakka on the field is pretty big. Okay, Splinter. So it would just be safer for me to play the Luminarch Aspirant and hold up the Dawn's Truce. This is the fun line. This is the safe line. You know what? I think we're going to go the safe line. And the reason I'm going the safe line is because next turn when we throw down the Wakka, we can immediately put a +1/+1 counter onto the Wakka with the Luminarch Aspirant. Now, do I really want to put the Paw Patch Recruit onto the field? I don't think I do. Instead, I just want to get in for damage. No, we're gonna hold back. We're gonna make sure Hamato doesn't get in with Menace. That's gonna be a not a great attack. I guess they could give. So what's this? Choose a color. Another target creature you control gains toxic and hexproof, not protection. Modern day card design on that one. Leonardo Cutting Edge, not sneaking in, just being put onto the field. Honestly, our opponent is a gamer. Okay, it's fine, actually, because now they're tapped out, so I get to do my Wakka thing next turn. They can take the protection. That's fine. But we're going to be in a pretty good spot, especially if we draw land. But we didn't draw land. Still, Wakka hits the field. Triggers the Aspirant, or the Aspirant triggers, and then that triggers. And I'm not going to attack him because this Brawler is going to get huge this turn. 2 more triggers. Boom, boom. And next turn, if we put down the Michelangelo weirdness to 11, that's going to start doubling everything. This is a Hardened Scales, right? How do y'all feel about that art, by the way? It's so, isn't it so ugly? Ooh, Mother of Runes. There is the actual protection. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem for me. But I think we're in okay shape here. It would have been nice to hit. I mean, that's going to be good soon, but we need our lands. So from here, I can... I guess you just jam the Mikey. Mikey, let's go. Let's go, baby. And then I can put down the Paw Patch Recruit just to have more creatures on the field, because we are going so wide already. And why... Do I need to do the mutagen? I don't think I do, really. The Botanical Brawler, going to be big. I'm going to start attacking in with the Botanical Brawler. It's going. Maybe I should have attacked in with the Wakka, because then I could have killed the Skrev. Yeah, I definitely should have attacked in with the Wakka, too. They didn't have enough damage to challenge that card. And protection doesn't... Like, yeah, they can keep the Leonardo around, but it's not really going to work for them. Oh, no, this doesn't work at all. Don't block, opponent. Don't block. This is hexproof. Hey, Leo's smashed under this brawler bus. Oh, okay. So trigger on Wakka. Boom. Huge triggers on the Botanical Brawler, and that's what we want to see from this deck. We want to see opponents with no interaction. It's always better when the opponents don't interact. Xenagos. Uh-oh. Opening hand. Oh man, it's close. If this weren't a tap land, I think I would try this one. The Xenagos deck is going to be so fast. I think I got to throw that one away. Oh boy. Oh boy. This I don't know. I don't know about this one. Do I try it? Sure. Turn one. I think I'm going to bushwhack. I'm going to go grab a forest just to have that for the future. This is Xenagos. Oh boy. Xenagos, how many of you out there have made Xenagos decks? I would love to know how many. I imagine there must be so many of you out there. That Delighted Halfling is going to be really good. I really wish I had that bushwhack now. Okay. Tap land, Pelt Collector, and now we need to draw into some really good action. Worst case scenario, I go Ozolith next turn, and then followed up with a Wakka after that. And it's not going to be great, but we'll see. The opponent is ramping hard. Okay. Yeah, Delighted Halfling is superior to my poor, my poor Pelt Collector. This guy, oopsie, no attack. The Delighted Halfling that's just admiring some wooden carvings. No match for the man with a sword, who's constantly battling beasts in the forest, who's constantly testing his might. No. The Delighted Halfling, much more powerful. Xenagos onto the field. Xenagos is not a creature, though, giving haste to the Leafkin Druid fruitlessly. Okay, well, that's okay. So if I do this, I don't... No, I need Wakka on the field, right? So Wakka double triggers the Pellet Collector, and then maybe next turn we can do something. As soon as they play something massive, though, Xenagos is going to go hard. What I was saying is, how many of you have had a Xenagos deck for EDH at some point in your life? I feel like Xenagos God of Revels is like one of those must build at some point decks in everybody's EDH career. By the way, I've never seen those card backs, and those are cool. Goreclaw on the field, giving discounts to everything, and it's going to get awfully big very quickly. Coming in. Yeah, you got it. 9 damage. Feels good. Feels good. Ooh. Talk about your cards, though. All right. We got ourselves a race, boys. We got ourselves a race. Ooh. Ouroboroid to the field. +1/+1 counters on everything. We're slamming in. We might just die next turn, though. Again, this is going to put a lot of stuff on the field, but they could definitely just put down a massive card and do 15 damage so easily to me. I do have 13 points of mitigation, though, so that's good. And they have quite a bit of mana, though. So maybe it was a little hasty. I mean, what else was I going to do? Was I really going to do Requisition Raid there? Nah, that ain't it. This is some good old classic Magic. This is two people just throwing haymakers, throwing as much power as they possibly can onto the board. Degenerate nonsense, I guess. This is good old honest Magic to me. This is what it should be like. What is this thing? Okay. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of turn. That doesn't seem fair. That seems very unfair. And Xenagos is now on the field. They fight. Oh my god. Ancient Animus. It's so good. So now, do I have enough damage? Like, can I... They're going to put the haste onto the Hunger Dominus, right? This thing I've never seen before. That's insane, right? It's coming in. Everything's going to get trampled, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a bit of damage. All right. opponent, I'm going to take out your mana dork on my way out. Not enough. That is... Ooh, that's Xenagos. That is Xenagos gameplay at its heart. Jetmir. What is a Jetmir doing? I think they're going super wide and probably making things awfully difficult for us. Ooh, this is a risky hand. I do have the Once Upon a Time, so what I can do with the Once Upon a Time is cast it for free to hopefully find a green source. But if I miss on the green source, y'all feel like gambling? Heck yeah. Jetmir, creatures you control get +1/+0, have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. As long as you have 6 or more, they get +1/+0 and trample. And 9 or more, they also get double strike. That is a lot of stuff. Okay. Oh, we found it. Okay. Grab the forest. Nice and easy. Thank goodness for Birds of Paradise. So that means we get to put out the Birds of Paradise this turn. We get to go out with the Cutzel next turn. And then we get to follow that up with the Ouroboroid. And maybe this is one of the games that we want to see. The crazy turn 1, turn 2 plays into turn 3 Ouroboroid. Still ruining games of Magic wherever it goes. Hopefully it does. Unfortunately, opponents seem to have a lot of removal when it's necessary these days. But they don't have it this time. Ouroboroid to the field. Cutzel. Do I attack it? No, I'm not attacking it. They just chump block with a 1/1, or they possibly put 4 in front of it. I love what the opponent's doing, though. Like the idea of just spamming out goblins and then throwing down Jetmir is just, that's kind of cool. Kind of cool. So, I think what we're going to do is just put a bunch of stuff on the field. And hope that the opponent doesn't have any dirty things for us. Like, this is going to be huge, right? Let's go in. Block. Nice and easy. We chip down the amount of nasty things that they have on the board. We also have the upside of removing 2 counters to regenerate the experiment 1. Oh, that was a cool animation. What is this thing? If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many. Okay, so it's a 4. Man, why is there so much impact coming down with this Mondrak? That's what we want to see. It's cheesy, yes, but that's what a +1/+1 counters deck does. Narsetti Spaghetti. All right. Let's see what Narset's bringing to the table. I don't like it. Not a good opening hand. A little bit of removal and a Goldvein Hydra, but I mean, this is too slow. Especially against the Enlightened Exile. Creatures control have prowess whenever Narset attacks. Exile target whatever. Yeah, we can keep this one. I think the opponent was saying hello. I didn't see that. So, exile target non-creature, non-land card with mana value less than Narset's power from a graveyard and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. That's a lot of words that seems to say do broken things. Am I wrong? Kind of what it sounds like. Okay, a Ragrin Triome, so they got their mana all fixed up. And is our Delighted Halfling making it to turn number 2? Or is it eating something? Search for Ascanta, oh my god! I get so excited about some cards. Ozolith, onto the field? Sure. Next turn, I guess we're going to be throwing Wakka into the fold, hoping that it survives. I don't have a 4th mana to be able, like, if I do this on turn 4 with 5 mana with the Delighted Halfling, maybe I can hold up the protection with the Snakeskin Veil. But, so, I don't want to give it protection. I'm just going to, oh, it untaps it. Oops. It's fine. Wait, whoa. What happened? Did we both just suck at this game? All right, I'm going to put this on this, I think. I don't know. I'm going to need maybe double white mana for the future. And I don't know if I take the time to put out Wakka or if I try. Yeah, let's put out Wakka. Okay, it's fine. So what was the opponent's plan with Claim the Firstborn? I thought I was being all clever and tapping it down. Of course, untap that creature. It's part of it. Ooh, Mystical Tutor. Aang joining the game. What? Oh no. But they put it on the top of their library, so top of the library is not such a threatening thing for us. And if I can make it to next turn where I can hold up the Snakeskin Veil, maybe I'll be in good shape. It's a Prismari command, so they tell us that. What does that mean? I also don't really want them attacking freely with the Dreadhorde Arcanist, because allowing them to do the Mystical Tutor again is going to be a bad thing. I can always Swords the Dreadhorde Arcanist away and just take care of that problem. Okay, you see a guard approach. Tap target creature. I don't care about that, right? Maybe I do care now. I would have liked to have put out the Wild Growth Archaic. I can still do it, but mana would be a little bit pinched here. Okay, boom. Not destroying anything, but I think I gotta get rid of... Wow, that just happened? Okay. Okay, let's move. Put a +1, put a couple of +1/+1 counters on the Delighted Halfling. We have the Heroic Intervention and the Snakeskin Veil as backup, just in case things go disastrous. I don't know what this is all about. You see a guard approach is a weird card, and especially tapping down the Delighted Halfling, I'm just not really sure what the opponent is all about with that. We're definitely not good game to the opponent. Heroic Intervention coming through big time. I need to change it to the Zuko one. Rafello could be big problem for me because I don't have a ton of interaction. My interaction is all going to be fight spells, which means I'm going to need a turn 1 creature and the fight spells. This hand has neither a turn 1 creature or a fight spell, so I'm not sure if we're keeping this one. Although it's not a bad hand, right? We go Fable Passage, crack it, grab a Plains, Forest into the Rampant Growth. The problem is, like, you really cannot allow the Rafello. Is it? No, let's throw it away. Okay. It's not bad because we do have the Inscription of Abundance. The Inscription of Abundance allows me to fight the Rafello. It's not great because I'm going to have to, if I want to keep my Elvish Mystic around, I'm going to have to, like, Restoration Magic. Okay, how desperate am I to kill Rafello this time? What I can do instead is do the Michelangelo. Man, Rafello, it's so bad. Next turn, they could have upwards of 6 mana. I could just throw away my Elvish Mystic. Like, do I really? Nah, you know what? We're out here. We're hunting for concedes. We're hunting for concedes. Boom. Rafello, get off of my board. The Llanowar Elf comes in with a big old slap. Boom. Out of here. It's going to be a problem in 2 more turns. Don't worry about it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But maybe it's insane to do it that way. Everything's bad though. Rafello, if you haven't been on the receiving end of a Rafello, yeah, you don't know the might of the elf druid. Okay, again, we're going to need a fight spell off the top of the library. If we don't hit a fight spell for this second Rafello, we're in trouble. Okay, we're in trouble. This thing, no, doesn't do what I want it to do. Okay, Mikey, be getting weird. We attack in with even the Llanowar Elf, right? Whatever, we're going to put as much damage on the opponent as we possibly can. And I think I'm just going to slam the Ooze and maybe start doing mutagen stuff. If they have a big turn next turn, we could be in trouble. But we are going to be putting a lot of power onto the board with these Oozes and mutagens. Oh, fudge. Maybe it's not so bad, right? Like, how many creatures? Oh, Jiminy. Raffello. I told you can't let it live. Sauron. You know what? I'm a little bit surprised at how many decks that I run into that are playing Universes Beyond cards. Oh boy, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try this one. We basically have nothing. We need to draw so well from the top of our library, but what we do have is a turn 1 Birds of Paradise into protection and interaction. Hopefully Wakka gets on the field. Wakka doesn't immediately bite it. We got more interaction there. And if that is the case, then maybe, just maybe, we can make something happen. Duress. Okay, so what do you get rid of? Probably the T-Pro. Teferi's Protection. Whew, what a card this is, right? I also gotta get the other. I want the Ang one. I like the Ang one. I have it in paper. I think it looks great in paper. It probably looks horrible digitally, but is it worth a mythic wildcard? Probably not. There's the T-Pro. Yep. So from here, I'm gonna bushwhack into getting. It doesn't matter. That the question now is, do I want to go a little bit slow? I think so. I think against this Sauron deck, I don't necessarily want to put a Wakka on the field turn 4. I think I want to put it out turn 5. So now do I just path my bird? If I path the bird, then the ring doesn't tempt them, and I get a land onto the field. I could also just protect the bird, which, oh man, it's all interesting. I'm gonna try pathing. I've heard that pathing a bird is a thing. You can do it. Why not? We're just out here ramping up a little bit. It's a 2-card ramp spell. Of course, that gets rid of our protection for Wakka, which means I'm not really lands. Am I right? My brother, you are. I don't want that. You are so right. What's that smile? I guess you give them a cheeky smile. I don't know what else you send over to your opponent when they're having land troubles. Sauron has no power here. Expect some of your games to go this way, where you just end up, an opponent can't do their thing. But hey, sometimes you path the exile of Birds of Paradise, and that's worth putting in a video, right? Ooh, Loris. Who's playing Loris? Usually you see various other commanders, and then Loris is just kind of hanging out. Okay, this is not bad. We're going to do the crop rotation, and the crop rotation is simply, again, I think I mentioned it in another game. I've definitely mixed up the game, so I don't know how they're going to be coming down. But the crop rotation is one that I've mentioned. I don't know if this is a good card or not in this deck, but what it lets me do is make sure that I have both my mana sources, and it also makes sure that I can surveil land. Innkeeper's Talent is so good in this deck, but I think because I have Ouroboroid and Incubation Druid in the deck, well, you know what? Now I'm kind of looking at that. Maybe I didn't need the Innkeeper's Talent for the Incubation Druid. It would have been real good, actually. Because next turn, I could have slammed the Innkeeper's Talent, put a +1/+1 counter onto the Incubation Druid, and went from there. It's okay. It's okay. Once Upon a Time, also not a bad card for us. So probably that's the card that I'm going to be playing this turn. Nothing with the Incubation Druid, and we're just going to kind of build up to an Ouroboroid. Hope the opponent doesn't have immediate removal for it, and then if it can put a couple +1/+1 counters on that, we'll be okay. Honeybones, going to be annoying because it's definitely going to be getting in on us. I have no idea what the opponent's up to. This is go wide.deck. They can definitely attack in with the Dark Confidant and the Lunarch Veteran. And what do we get? What do we get? We get lands. Land or Llanowar Elf? I think it's just probably land. Okie dokie. Well, yeah. This is what I came here to do. So I can't do anything else. We need to survive one more turn. We need to make sure that... Can I actually cast this? So add 1 mana of any type. Oh, yeah. I made a mistake. This creature has a +1/+1 counter on it. For some reason, I thought the Incubation Druid was a number of counters on it creates that much mana. So I thought 1 counter equals 1 mana. But no, as long as it has a counter on it, it gains or it generates mana, which means that the Innkeeper's Talent was actually kind of insane. We should have definitely kept that on the top of our library. Anyways, I can still do this, which maybe will let me do some things. It's a fight spell, right? I don't want to fight the Tiny Bones. So that just happens. They grab, hey, Innkeeper's Talent. It's a good card. Opponent, I agree with you. You grab that Innkeeper's Talent, throw it onto the field. Tiny Bones doing some big work against me. And that card is not too scary. So I think we're okay to practice offense is really good. We don't have protection, though, which is the biggest problem here. So I can do a full kick on this, right? No, I can't. So maybe the better thing is just to do the practiced offense. Or do I really want to fight the Kinseer? I'm a little bit scared of this card, honestly. So maybe we just wait a turn. I really want to put +1/+1 counters on Wakka, though. Oh, yeah, it's fine. I'm sitting here thinking too deeply about things. Of course, we're already putting +1/+1 counters on Wakka because of the Ouroboroid. I think before combat, I might try to fight the Kinseer Sentry, whatever that word is. Because I really don't want that attacking in. We'll see if they try to go for the attack, though. Although it is only going to be like a 3, because they put the +1/+1 counter here. It's only going to be a 3 value thing. It's not that scary. That's scarier, maybe? I don't know. Actually, it's not. Again, it's also not that scary. This practice offense is going to be scary for us next turn. Okay, no priest. That's fine. Doesn't do anything. They're just gaining life, mitigating all the Dark Confidant. I haven't been watching what the Dark Confidant has been drawing. I don't know if it's been good or bad for the opponent. I think if they don't put the +1/+1 counter onto the Kinseer Sentry, I don't think they're attacking in. You know what? I'm going to actually not fight it ahead of time. I think this fight spell might be a little bit important later on. They didn't do anything. Okie doke. So we grab whatever, Forest. And we have so many options for the following turn. We have a ton of mana. We have very powerful cards in hand. A Trampling Wakka. Ooze, not the worst card, because if they end up killing something, then we actually get all those mutagen tokens back. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this out, and I'm going to slam in with the practiced offense. I'm going to make a giant Wakka. How giant am I going to go, though? I think it's fine. This. Yeah, let's go, baby. We're going to gain a bunch of life. Double strike, of course. And they should stop this. Like, this thing's going to be huge, right? This is 26 damage coming in at ya. 26 doubles, lifelinking. Lifelinking? No, I didn't give lifelink. Dang. But I gave first strike. So this is fine. The Tiny Bones is just going to eat it. Because Tiny Bones does not have first strike. Bang. That's a lot of damage. Put a +1/+1 counter on your boy. I don't think I missed. I guess maybe I could have had lethal if I went with the Inscription of Abundance. Wonder if I should have. Okay. They have ways of returning stuff from their graveyard. So I think this Ooze is just going to wait to respond to whatever they target, if that's the case. And we have the practice offense for the next turn. Double striking again, although we don't have trample on anything outside of the Wakka, so we kind of need Wakka to survive. And unfortunately, I do not have any way of giving him protection. The Incubation Druid can make 3 mana to fight something, but I don't know how good that's going to be. Oh, I forgot that they had the Dark Confidant. They're living on the edge now with this Dark Confidant. Every draw is going to be like a roller coaster, whether or not they're going to just eat 3 damage randomly. Then again, they do have 8 points of life gain. They would have to run them into our Ouroboroid and Incubation Druid, but they could definitely do that. In fact, 9, I guess, if they do the Innkeeper's Talent thing. I mean, this was good for them to grab, but they can't level it up, right? Okay, Null Priest. Oh, they're coming in with the crew. The full crew is coming in. Massacre Worm. It's a massacre? Okay. Yeah. Wait. Oh, hang on. Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, where X is the number of attacking creatures, not the power of the Sentry. I misunderstood what the card was, but hey, we get a little bit of a win there. That was an all-in attack, block, and then, well, whatever. Eshki. What does Eshki do? Man, one of the cool things about playing this is I know Eshki. I'm kind of familiar with it, but I haven't played against these cards enough to actually remember what they do. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you cast both a creature spell and a non-creature spell this turn, draw a card and put 2 +1/+1 counters on Eshki. That's strong. Okay, man, this hand, again, these are good cards, but they're just not quite enough. And these are so far away, so I think I'm going to throw this one away. Yeah, this one's fine. We're going to need a little bit of help with our lands. We're going to need to draw actually several lands in a row to be able to make something good happen here. How do you feel about playing... Maybe this is a me thing. How do you feel about playing off-color... Is it off-color? Is that the way I want to say it? Off-color fetch land. So this is a blue-black fetch land. Of course, Eshki is blue, but there's no black in there. So, yes, Polluted Delta is legal to play, of course, because these are colorless lands and you can go and get a island. But I just find it be just a little bit cheesy, I think is what I want to say here. It's just a little cheesy. Okay, we're going to put this on the Hopeful Initiate, and you better believe I'm attacking in, because I don't believe that the opponent's going to double block here. I don't think they would ever give me their Goblin, a Narcomancer. They definitely want that discount. Next turn, what we can do is Branching Evolution, and then put the +1/+1 counter on the Luminarch Aspirant, and attack in maybe with a 3/3, which will then trigger the training on the Hopeful Initiate. That's assuming that a 3/3 is even allowed to attack in, which now it's not, and the plan has changed. We probably have to take care of the Eshki. That's cool. That's a lot of damage coming in on our poor little faces. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. So Hopeful Initiate training. Whenever this creature attacks with another creature with power greater. So I need to Swords the Eshki. It has Ward 1. So we just do this. Yeah. Boom, boom. Auto pay. Slow down the opponent ever so slightly. And we put out our Lush Portico. We get to attack in for a bit. We need lands. It's not a good land, but we need lands. Okay. And I'm going to put it on the Luminarch Aspirant this time. I'm never going to block with the Aspirant, but maybe the Hopeful Initiate can stand up against the Goblin and Narcomancer. Slow them down just a little bit. They do have the ability to put out Eshki one more time, and this time around I don't have a way of stopping that, so... not looking good, man. Mana Dorks are so good. If you got your turn 1 Llanowar Elf or whatever green creature that you can possibly muster up to ramp you a little bit on turn 1. It's so powerful in Brawl. Green. How do you play decks that are not green? That's one thing I wonder. Okay, Frantic Search. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Untap 3 lands. That's powerful, especially with Eshki. So this girl, thankfully no trample, but I can't do anything here. So we can put down the Restless Prairie, put down the Branching Evolution, start building up our hopeful initiate and hopefully getting it up to a reasonable size. I think that's probably the only way to go about it. Okay. Maybe it's actually putting it on the Luminarch Aspirant. We're not going to be attacking in, but as long as we don't die next turn, maybe with the Michelangelo that also doubles the counters that are going on things. Oh, Combat Celebrant. Does that mean double combats? They're going to have the Wild Ride. Into the Flood Moth for my poor Luminarch Aspirant. Oh my goodness, the Dragon Claw is having their way with me. It's so bad. I'm sure they can give the Combat Celebrant haste. Yeah. Tap down the Anarchomancer. And this is a disaster. So we block the Combat Celebrant, I suppose, but we're just dead. Okie dokie. GG opponent. That is seeing a very well-oiled deck from the Chainsaw Panda absolutely wrecking our face. Going first with the Mana Acceleration with a very powerful commander that just kind of gets out of control very fast. Oh boy, I didn't even have time to even consider putting Wakka on the field. All right, so not a bad set of games. I feel like we saw a pretty wide range of opponents, lots of different decks, and some of the opponents' decks really popped off. I felt like this deck it either had like the fast start and just ran over the opponent, took advantage of the opponent having a little bit of a slow start. And yeah, that's what Wakka does, I suppose. That's mostly how it is. It's a lot of 1-drops, 2-drops, and we mostly want to keep the curve nice and low and just slam in on the opponent, take advantage of any stumbles. This deck maybe doesn't really grind too well. If you run into a bunch of board wipes and that, you're going to have a really bad time. But still, I have a whole lot of fun every time I get to put +1/+1 counters on things. This video probably went a little bit long. I did record quite a few games in the end, trying to find good ones that are interesting. There were a couple of dud ones where the opponents just conceded nice and quickly. There were a lot of those games. I put some of them in. I'm going to cut some of them out. Whatever, it is what it is. Doing Brawl content is a little bit weird, a little bit harder than regular content where you can just record 7 straight or 10 straight. This one, I feel like some of the matches are real duds and you can't even bother putting them in. It's just real bad. Anyways, let me know what commanders you would like to see in the future. Tell me some of your favorite Brawl commanders to play. I would love to hear what you guys are doing and what your experience has been with the new matchmaking system on Arena. That's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Saranga ipana, and I will see all of you wonderful people in the next one. Have a great weekend, and bye-bye.